The Manifesto of Futurism, written in 1909, is history's manliest art manifesto. The Manifesto of Futurism was written by Italian poet Filippo Tommaso Marinetti. It ignited the Futurist Art Movement, and I think it's one of the manliest art manifestos that I've ever read. I'm going to read part of it here in a moment, but first I should probably say that it is not my manifesto, and I don't agree with all of it personally. It's a little extreme in some parts, and I actually like history and museums. But I do love it when guys say what's on their mind and go hard and go all the way. Futurism was a revolutionary art movement. Marinetti didn't want men to create art that was merely pretty or quaint. He wanted them to capture movement and action and strife. He wanted to see art that heralded man's triumph over nature and fear and frailty. Art that celebrated man and machine and the juggernaut of industrial technology. He wanted an art for a century of planes, trains, and automobiles. His art would celebrate power and speed and aggression. The futurists dreamed of art made by and for the kind of men who drove race cars and fought in wars. The art of the futurists at the beginning of the 20th century was meant to break away from stuffy tradition and start a new age. And it did. Marinetti and the other futurists influenced many other art movements that followed and produced a wide range of painting, sculpture, poetry, and music. Some of his fellow futurists included painter and sculptor Umberto Boccioni, Carlo Cara, Fortunato de Pero, Gino Severini, and Luigi Russolo. Some of my favorite futurist paintings were painted by Tullio Crowley in Futurism's second wave. Now I'm going to read the main part of the Manifesto of Futurism. The introduction and the text that follows is actually also fantastic, so I'm going to include a few links in the notes below so that you can read the entire manifesto for yourself. We want to sing the love of danger, the habit of energy and rashness. The essential elements of our poetry will be courage, audacity, and revolt. Literature has, up till now, magnified pensive immobility, ecstasy, and slumber. We want to exalt movements of aggression, feverish sleeplessness, the double march, the perilous leap, the slap and the blow with the fist. We declare that the world has been enriched by a new beauty, the beauty of speed. The racing automobile with its bonnet adorned with great tubes like serpents with explosive breath. A roaring motor car which seems to run on machine gun fire. That is more beautiful than the victory of Samothrace. We want to sing the man at the wheel, the ideal axis of which crosses the earth, itself hurled along its orbit. The poet must spend himself with warmth, glamour, and prodigality to increase the enthusiastic fervor of the primordial elements. Beauty exists only in struggle. There is no masterpiece that has not an aggressive character. Poetry must be a violent assault on the forces of the unknown, to force them to bow before man. We are on the extreme promontory of the centuries. What is the use of looking behind at the moment when we must open the mysterious shutters of the impossible? Time and space died yesterday. We are already living in the absolute, since we have created eternal, omnipresent speed. We want to glorify war, the only cure for the world. Militarism, patriotism, the destructive gesture of the anarchists, the beautiful ideas which kill, and contempt for women. We want to demolish museums and libraries, fight morality, feminism, and the opportunist and utilitarian cowardice. We will sing of the great crowds agitated by work and pleasure and revolt, the multicolored and polyphonic surf of revolutions in modern capitals, the nocturnal vibrations of the arsenals and workshops beneath their violent electric moons, the gluttonous railway stations devouring smoking serpents, factories suspended from the clouds by the thread of their smoke, bridges with the leap of gymnasts flung across the diabolic cutlery of sunny rivers, adventurous steamers sniffing the horizon, great breasted locomotives puffing on the rails like enormous steel horses with long tubes for bridle, and the gliding flight of airplanes whose propeller sounds like the flapping of a flag and the applause of enthusiastic crowds.